Yeah, one of the new Western licenses we're dealing with is actually the Injustice franchise, video game franchise. It's a special R&D project though. What we're doing with this is we're not just making SH Figuarts figures on this. We're going to incorporate some die cast, and most importantly, we're going to make original face cowling for these.
Yeah, I noticed that Batman has a face mask style.
And,
Other Japanese people love the face full mask.
Exactly. Like if you look at the Kamen Rider, the least popular one apparently
is Rider Man.
He has the open mouth area, and so they love the mouth cowling. And we had this idea to do this with some American comic characters before. And another thing we want to do is recently we've been interested in the way that comic players, and not only American comic characters work, but also video game characters, particularly fighting games, and then how they translate into physical action figures. The cool thing about this is, articulation is one of the things we specialize in. So we not only have this iconic character that's popular in Japan, we also have a video game character from a studio that's done a great job, and it really allows us to make a figure where we're going to emphasize the articulation. The cowling design is going to be obviously really fresh, and it's not going to be even in the game though. It's something that we're designing.
Oh yeah. So you're doing some original
interchangeable face mask parts.
You're also going to have the typical SH Figuarts accessories and things like articulation and everything.
Accessories we're thinking about for certain characters, maybe doing some cool effect parts as well.
How about the percentage of die cast in the figure? How many?
It's not going to be huge because SH Figuarts traditionally is not mostly die cast. We'll use it, of course, in key areas like the ankles, mainly for balance purposes, and also maybe some of the armoring where it makes sense. And a lot of these characters, it has their Injustice, do seem to have some good armor aspects about them.
Any hints on some upcoming characters? Superman, Joker, Nightwing?
The thing in Japan, it's Batman is always the strongest. So
it's number one and number two.
Start off with obviously Batman.
Yeah.
And probably stay with one or two characters from the Batman side.
Okay.
So maybe Bane, Harley Quinn, or Joker.
Yeah. Okay.
But definitely, Superman. Also, one of the things is the Flash has a really cool suit that's actually semi-armored. So the ones that lend themselves more to more of an armored or mechanical aspect will be obviously more appropriate initially because that's the area that we specialize in.
Awesome. For the Blaze Blue license, is this Noel going to be the first figure? We also seen a Hakumen in the past. Is it possible we're going to see that one pretty soon
that
too?
That one was just for display only. I think you've seen it. Right now the only one we have set is usually we see how the first one goes.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And then judge if we're going to continue the series. But with DRs, with Mega Man, we've done multiple titles. With Persona, multiple titles. So we've seen most of the stuff that we put out there for years. Most of it, we've been doing consecutive titles, so it's highly possible.
Awesome. For the Noel, is it gonna be tied in with the anime that's currently airing, or is it mostly just for the game right now?
I don't know the R&D specifics directions. I really can't comment on them right now. How we're gonna do it? Is there actually?
Yeah, there's a current TV anime.
Which anime is it?
There's a TV anime currently right now, just airing.
Okay, see, I'm interviewing you now, so I'll go back. Anime is good. All right. Well, we'll see.
Any hints on the maybe upcoming Rockman figures, maybe possible reissues of some of them? Like a Zero Type 2 has gotten really expensive on the aftermarket. Yeah, $150.
Yeah, it's definitely on a hot top candidate list for a reissue, and but if it does happen for a reissue, which is highly possible, it would be spring or beyond, because that's when we start our new reissues. So it'll be from maybe April 2014 or beyond, but it's definitely high on the candidate list.
Obviously, you said the Figuarts Zero Dragon Ball's been doing much better than expected.
Yeah, when it initially started out, it was kind of lackluster, and then all of a sudden it just bam.
Yeah, the Vegeta looks incredible.
There were doubts at the beginning because we started out with the articulation, and we were about the articulation, and then when it came out, and people actually the feedback on the figures.
The sculpt is very dynamic. It's a type of look that you can't get in a posable figure.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're emphasizing for. And we're going for in the further titles, we're going to even push that further with more extreme action.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Effects going on. So we're going to continue that, and we're looking into doing Figuarts Zero template for some of the other popular items as well. Now that we've found out it's gotten great feedback. So continue with SH Figuarts, and then maybe on the side for the strong characters, doing static versions as well.
There's a lot of concern with Dragon Ball as far as like certain figures about obviously being exclusive in Japan and having an obvious regular release here, but a lot of people who want some of the older figures are now really hard to get, such as like Super Saiyan Vegeta, for example.
Just because it's been an exclusive doesn't mean we can't do a reissue for a specific market if we tweak the color specification or something like that. So it's not impossible that we won't have a for some of these figures a reissue. It might be under a slightly different format.
For a lot of the figures obviously going, as obviously for SH Figuarts, kind of been a learning process that you guys been going on. Obviously with a lot of the photos, like a lot of the figure photographers and stuff like that, effects parts have become really popular among fans. And a lot of the newer figures have come effect from older figures. So it's possible later on maybe we could get a effects part set for Dragon Ball that maybe
for the new Goku we're planning to put in the effect parts. And I hear there's a company out there that's selling effect parts by the can. For our Monster Art series primarily, I think.
Yeah.
It's possible, it's conceivable that maybe we could do some sort of niche market, just effect part set for, we do like a Tamashii stage. For not only Dragon Ball, for D-Arts titles and Monster Arts titles. It's hard because at the beginning, with the costing and whatnot, we put a lot of interchangeable hand parts in there, but also for the package format as well, we weren't sure if we wanted to make the package size too big, so we had left out some, potential effect parts that we considered. But it's possible to go back. That's another idea for maybe a reissue is to put
that would be awesome.
Thanks for that feedback.
That would be awesome. You said the Metal Build series have been doing very well in the US?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been up Art Gundam stuff, which is just robot spirits and that.
And it's one of my favorite lines.
Gundam fixed figuration. Metal Build has been doing I'd say probably the best for the US.
Oh wow,
which is interesting because it's super expensive, but I guess the die cast is something that people love.
It's like a die cast master grade.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, quality.
That Destiny Gundam we have on
that Destiny is incredible.
Destiny is better than the
incredible. Yeah.
Oh really?
Incredible.
Okay, I shouldn't say that.
Proportion it looks more evil. It's more dynamic. Yeah.
So I'm getting really good feedback on that one, which is great. And there is the Metal Build series for some of the titles, it's become like almost Saint Seiya, where the global demand is higher than we can put out for supply.
Is it possible maybe Metal Build for other licenses outside of Gundam in the future?
Yeah, like Pacific Rim would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
There's a lot of ideas we have for that. It's using other formats, but not necessarily like a Chogoki. Battery's about to die.
No. For possible maybe a Robot Tamashii Valrave in the future?
Yeah, everybody's talking about the Valrave for the hobby
side.
Yeah, no, I actually
Robot Tamashii later?
One of the heads of our R&D about that because it seems to be selling really well here in the US, so I put that feedback in. But we cover a really broad span with Robot Spirits, so I think it's
definitely.
Yeah.
Any new news that come to the Sentai lines? Maybe Gokaiger release in the US, things like that?
I mean, we could we're considering reissues for that, but it's really tough. Right now, Mighty Morphin stuff is selling amazing in the US, but it's hard with the other series. We don't have any definitive feedback for outside of Mighty Morphin. It's like there's people who like SPD, there's people who like all these different series, but yeah, it's totally all over. It's scattered, so it's hard for us to find an R&D direction with what do we do after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So what we're actually polling for now is Mighty Morphin, what other formats do the fans want?
Yeah.
Do they want like a Figuarts Zero format with like battle damage and effects, or do they want everybody wants maybe a Dragon Sword Super Robot Chogoki? Like that. Or our friends at Bandai America who are doing really well with the morphers. What if we did like a prop replica high-end morpher? Like really expensive, real deal heavy. So we've been looking into actually different formats for Mighty Morphin. It's hard to call out the other series because we don't have a lot of definitive feedback. The fans are really scattered with the preference.
Listen, guys, more feedback. Anyways, for the Yamato, is there a chance of maybe doing other ships, like how you guys do the SOC Yamato?
I mean, the thing about Super Robot or Soul Chogoki is it's an incredibly intensive R&D process that takes like a full year. That's why we only do limited titles. It's really hard for me to say we're going to do all these variations of it because the tooling investments, the time investments are so. Same to put out a lot of titles every year with that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see
all
how
the
this one
engineering
goes.
involved,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. For the EX line, maybe expanding beyond just the bronze and gold saints in the future.
Yeah, highly possible. I mean, we did that. We did Silver Saints. We did.
Yeah. It looks like the gold saints is about to end pretty soon. So I was just curious, maybe we have.
There's a huge demand for reissues. I'd say, we're talking about Zero version 2. I mean, obviously, like the highest on the candidates that Jimmy Saga.
Gemini Saga,
yeah, I mean, it's talking about ridiculous eBay prices, but so I mean, obviously those are really high on the candidate list for reissues. But it's of course highly conceivable we'll go beyond gold and bronze as well. I mean, we did it with the standard Saint Coffin line, Asgard series. Anything's game. Before Comic-Con. Yeah, it was just. It depends. That's going to depend on the Japan feedback. Because Kamen Rider R&D is completely driven by the Japan market.
I think those effects probably do pretty well here. Like a lot of people.
It depends though how at that event, what sort of feedback we got, and if they do it, we'll do it. But it's not going to. Well, I mean, it's noted that they like it in the US, but the whole Kamen Rider line is basically based off of Japan feedback.
Okay.